All right, there. It's your boy Jaisyn Mike. We are headed to the George R. Brown Convention Center. I'm doing a competition today. Some of you might be asking, didn't you just compete at IPF Worlds? And I will say, yes. I actually do this particular meet every year. I've done it for the last 4 years. This will be my 4th year competing in it. And, typically 2 of the years I'm coming off of travel and doing IPF Worlds. And in most cases, most people would decide not to compete. But in my situation, I get to use this meet typically to do what I wouldn't do at an IPF Worlds type situation or type vibe, right? As most serious competitors know, when you're doing these large meets, world events where you're traveling, representing your country or team or whatnot, it's not about your total. It starts to be more about winning, right? It's about like earning team points, about coaches even. You don't really have 100% input when you go to IPF Worlds per se. Team USA coaches have a great bit of say in your attempts, the weights that you actually go for. One thing about me being a master lifter on Team USA, our coach is actually a lot more aggressive than the open coach was, right? So if any of you guys saw the open worlds, I would have placed 3rd in the open this year with my total. So I'm one of the best lifters in the world, in our world anyway, in terms of total and all that kind of stuff. But we got Ray Williams, Dennis Cornelius whenever he decides to compete as well. So it makes it kind of hard for me to compete open. And it comes down to, do I want to compete for 3rd or 4th or 5th place? Or do I want to go and win gold, and dominate, So it kind of comes down to that. But anyway, I say all that to say, at IPF Worlds, I went 8 for 9, right? The last lift would have given me a 21:06 total, right? Which would have been the total that I was shooting for, that I would quit. Like I always say, if I got 2100, I think I'll just quit, right? But I missed the lift. And in retrospect, if I would have known I only needed 755, I would have taken that, or 757, whatever the next number is in kilos. And to be honest with you, I probably would have locked that out. But the 760 was just too much for me on that particular day. So I missed it at the end of the weight was as high as it was going to go. I just couldn't get my hips forward. So I'm looking at this meet today as redemption. And it's not to go hit a 760-pound deadlift either. I actually, since then, my squat has gone through the roof. And I'm probably going to add the training footage of these last couple of weeks I've been home to the footage at some point. But I got home after breaking the Masters world record of, I actually squatted 727 pounds, 0.5 pounds in Canada. And that's a really funny number because I've never had that much weight on my back ever. And I don't train like that. I train more or less, I hit weights, get comfortable with a weight, then do it on the platform. But when I came back, I noticed some things that I could have done a little bit differently. So I kind of changed my approach a little bit. So the changes went great instantly. So since I've been back, I've been adding 5 pounds, 2.5 kilos to my squat every session. And the last time I actually went up, 745 kind of flew. It looked like an opener almost. So I think that I might be able to have 20 to 25 more pounds going into deadlift than I did at IPF World. So with that being the case, I wouldn't need a 760 pound deadlift, which I'm not sure if I could even do at this point. But 738, I think I can get 738. So if I can get 738, that'll give me 2100 if everything goes according to plan. As most of you know, or if you follow me, you know, I broke the open world record on bench. At the time, it was 619.5 pounds, which is a huge number, right? And I got chipped by the big Algerian. But with that being said, the open world record now is at 620.5. I have a feeling that me and this guy is going to go back and forth for a couple of years now if I stay healthy or if I even stay in the weight class. But I want to get 622 today, right? I don't want to try to repeat the same exact performance. So if I can get 622, which will be an unofficial world record, as well as that'll put me closer to only needing 730 some pounds. 720 some pounds for a 21 pound total. So that's what I'm looking at today. It's 175 lifters at this particular competition. You know, based on where I am in the federation, I don't see anybody coming here putting up a bigger total than me or anything like that. But there are a bunch of small guys who are pretty strong and who will be in there for best lifter awards and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully I get the 2100 pound total, and it should put me around a 530 Wilks. Now, the other thing about this particular thing is that my weight has gone up a lot, right? So since IPF Worlds, I've gained probably about 6 to 7 pounds, right? Well, actually not 6, 7. So I believe this morning I was close to 320, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if that weight's gonna hold until weigh-ins or whatnot, but it's a little bit easier lifting when you got a little more cushion, you know. So hopefully this will be the last meet that I'm over 308 for a long time, and I can just get this number out the way. I really want this 2100. It was worth gaining a couple pounds in order to try to secure it, but I just need everything to go well. So today I am opening at 700 pounds on squat, 573 pounds on bench, and 700 pounds on deadlift. And what I typically do now is that I always secure 2,000, right? That's kind of been my latest thing in terms of, you know, when I get to certain numbers, just do what I have to do to win, and then worry about everything else from there. So if everything, let's say, give you all the scenarios and see how close I am to this playing out correctly. Before the competition, I'm thinking of going 700 squat for my opener, 733 second attempt, 750 third attempt, right? Bench, 573, 600, 622. Deadlift, 700 pounds, 738, 771 or 760, something like that, if I get to that part in the meet, right? Now, what I actually think is going to happen, there are several scenarios, right? I go out, I hit my opener, and I take my second attempt at 733 pounds. And I get called for depth or something of that nature. And so I wind up I don't see any situation where I miss 733 twice, based on my training and all that. So hopefully I'm able to get at least 733, which would be a PR. Hold on, I'm actually typing my handler now as I drive. All right. So with that being the case, so 733 should be the lowest I'll come out of squat with, right? So if that happens, that changes the meet completely, right? So at that point, we're just trying to PR, right? The best total that I've done so far has been 2,061. And I believe right now I'm in third going into Raw Nationals for total. So there's a way for this to play out where I wind up with like 2,080 or something like that. And if I'm in a situation where I need too big of a pull to try to get to 2,100, I'm just gonna let it go to Raw Nationals and just play it from there. So I'm anticipating a 2,100 pound total today. I don't believe it's gonna come down to my squat. I believe it's gonna really be my third bench. If I get to 622, I believe that I will get the 2,100 pound total. So that's kind of my conclusion. Let's see how close I came with my prediction, and hopefully, I was correct. All right. Well, thanks again for your time, and later.